Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this podcast. Today, we're here with Ryan Crowley, the owner of Full Force Exteriors. And today, we're going to be talking about a few interesting things, including how he uses things like AI in his business, all sorts of things, really. So just sit back, relax, tune in. And also, Ryan here, he has been the most viral podcast guest in our history back in his first episode, maybe a year and a half ago. So we're going to talk about that too. Stay tuned. Today, I don't know what we're going to talk about. I do have one topic I want to talk about, which is we probably have talked about it. We've definitely talked about it before. I don't know if we talked about it on the first podcast, but it's AI and how you as a business owner use AI in whatever aspect of your business. It might be just a little bit. It might be a lot. I don't know. But I just generally want to know how people in this town are using it, if at all.
I use it a lot.
So what do you use it for?
Almost every day. One thing for weight loss.
Oh, yeah?
I wouldn't say program. Like I don't have I was gonna make, I don't know what they're called. A bot, not a bot, where you program your own AI.
What AI service do you use?
ChatGPT.
Okay. So maybe I know their basic one is like a custom GPT.
Yeah, like a custom. I was gonna build my own, but then I started playing with it, and I was like, I'm just gonna ask it. So, a few things I use it for: roulette strategy.
What is the roulette strategy?
I love playing roulette. Not Russian roulette. Roulette at the casino.
Oh, yeah?
And so, I will play online, and I will. Well, it's not going to turn, I guess. Oh, there we go. So I'll put a bunch of chips on the board, and I'll screenshot it, and I will tell ChatGPT, run this exactly how it is, 100 rolls, and see what the final result is. And it'll tell me, you're up $100 or you're down $1,000, and I'll say, do that 10 more times and see if it averages out. And I'll do a different layout. I'll play different things, and I'll say, run this 10 times and then or run it 100 times and then run that 10 times, that 100 rolls 10 times.
Yep.
And then average it out and see, what the profit loss says. So that's one thing. I went to the casino the other night, and I played roulette for like 4 hours, and I think I lost $100. But I got like probably $1,000 in free play the next time I go to the casino, because my rolls were $100 a spin.
Mm-hmm.
And so that $100 every 40 seconds counts for free play. Like I think it's $1. It's 1 point per dollar, and then you get like 10% back.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So if I'm spending $100 a spin, I might gain $20 on that spin. I might lose $20, but I was getting most of my money back every single time, if not gaining, maybe losing, $20. But the casino sees that as, they call it hypothetical losses or something like that. Can't remember right now. But basically they're seeing how much your bet is every time you bet, how much you're betting. So they see me spending $100, not losing 20. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the month, they go through all those, and they see that I spent $100,000 in a casino in 4 hours, and they're like, we want that guy back.
Yeah.
And so they'll send you $100, $200, $300, $400 in free play just to get you to come back and play. So it's like, I lost 100, but I probably made 1,000 at the casino.
I've never been to, well, I take that back. I did walk into a casino once. I was driving to Dallas, and it was like 2 a.m. Needed sleep, and they didn't have any rooms available. And it was also one of those casinos, I don't know which one you go to, but pretty much the only thing I saw in there was those slot machines.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just staring at them. So I don't know how that works, but how does ChatGPT help you win? Do you do that in the casino?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't help me win. It takes my ideas, puts it in a spreadsheet, and then tells me whether or not my strategy works.
Okay.
So there is no winning bet in a casino. They're going to get their money, you know.
Yep.
But if you minimize your losses while playing their game, because their game is they're going to give you free play to get you back. I love being in a casino. I love seeing the people. I love hearing the bells ring. I love just
Hmm.
all of it. It's a thrill. And so if I can go to the casino for 4, 5, 6 hours and lose $100 versus losing 1,000, I'm gonna do it because
Yeah.
that's what I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Um, I get free cruises. I cruise on Carnival for free because I gamble in the casino, but I only lose 100, 300 bucks, and I'm getting a $2, $3,000 cruise for free.
Yeah.
So it's just
I
one of
see
the.
what you mean.
Don't
So
get me wrong, it's gambling.
yeah, it is gambling.
But it's just something I enjoy doing.
So okay, that I don't know if this will be in the podcast, this first part,
Yeah, that's fine.
but no.
Yeah.
This will be. But
Oh.
that first part we were talking about beforehand. Oh, this is good. But about the platform thing of shopping local. My
Yeah.
brother is 12 years old, and I've been talking to him like, how do we get your age group, these 13, 14-year-olds, 12-year-olds, more excited to go eat a local burger than go to McDonald's and get the Minecraft toy?
Yeah.
So then he's been telling me like, okay, whenever you go to a local business and you're entering in these giveaways, there needs to be like a spin wheel that
Yeah.
vibrates and hits your dopamine.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what dopamine is? Anyways, so it's got it. And then he really wanted, I don't know if we'll do this. He really wanted to be able to gamble points. I was like, man, I don't know if that's a good idea.
Goodness.
But with that, I guess that might be engaging.
Double or nothing.
Double or nothing. Put it all on the line.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it makes sense.
So I see what you mean. So there's a strategy to roulette. I didn't know that. Because some games, I guess, in the casino don't have strategy.
Yeah.
Probably like the
So
slot machines.
Slot machines, there's zero strategy. There's 2% strategy. Like there are people that can walk around a casino floor and can tell that machine's gonna hit in the next, so many hits. And so they'll put $1,000 in and they'll play max bet until it hits, jackpot. That's like point 0.1% of people can do that. Like
Yeah.
nobody does it. But like poker's a strategy game. It's a mental. I'm against you. The casino makes a few bucks a hand, but it's really player versus player.
Mm-hmm.
21 blackjack. Blackjack is a strategy game, but there's more chance the casino's going to win than you. It's like I don't remember, 46% chance that you'll win. And so they have that 3 or 4%
Hmm.
more than you. Because all you're trying to do is you're trying to stay under 21. They're trying to stay under 21.
And the highest wins, right?
And the closest to 21 wins. So it's like as long as you're between them and 21, you win, but they have a higher chance. So it's,
Yeah. So you use AI to like help you with your strategy on
Mhm.
roulette. What other things do you use it for in your business or just
so
anything else in your life?
so business. So I had an idea a while back about starting a business, and I wanted to know the process, like how should I go about starting this thing? And ChatGPT was like, "Nope, you can't do that. You could face legal charges just because of how it tricks people into providing information that
What was the business idea?
would be privileged." I want to create a website that aims to catch cheaters by getting them to admit that they're cheating. Uh, the accusing party will get on the website, pay $20 or whatever, uh, an anonymous email, or not an anonymous, but like a fake company will email their spouse and say, "Hey, we're trying to do a uh, a survey
Mhm.
about relationships." Um, it promises them that it will be anonymous, nobody will know, and it says that, every 100 people that take it, they have a chance of winning 50 or $100 or whatever. And it'll ask them about cheating. Are you currently cheating? Have you cheated on your spouse? Blah blah blah. And then that information gets sent back to the s-
It's pretty messed up.
yes.
I guess it's all messed up though.
But so is cheating on your spouse, and so that was literally, I don't remember why. I was watching a movie, and something came up, and I was like, I wonder if you could do something like that. And so I started, thinking about it, and I asked GPT, and it said, offering money for a fake anonymous survey with a hidden agenda is deceptive. In many jurisdictions, using deception in commercial activity can be fraudulent or considered entrapment. This could violate privacy laws, especially if you're storing or distributing sensitive personal information like confessions of cheating. And so
Yeah.
I said, okay, scratch that one.
So as you're thinking of more ways you might have used it, recently my wife and I were having another kid,
Hmm.
and we used it to name our kid.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So my wife is kind of like not anti AI, but excuse me, I'm about to sneeze.
You good?
She's kind of critical of it, and like isn't too much into it. But here's what I did. I loaded up ChatGPT, and I learned this technique uh, a couple of months ago from this guy, and it's pretty legit. It gives you way better output. It's called crit. Have you ever heard of crit? CRIT. And every letter stands for a different thing. And it's how when you prompt ChatGPT or any AI, you give it these four things, and then the third one is the really crazy one. You get a much better result than you said, hey, just like help me, rather than saying just, hey, help us name our baby. What are some name ideas? Here's what I did. I put context in all capitals with a pound sign in front of it. Pound context. And then I put something along the lines of, my wife and I are having another kid. We're not agreeing on any names, blah, 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 blah. Here's the context of the situation. Here's what's going on. The R. So then under that, in the same message, pound roll. R is roll. So now we're telling the AI what
What
role
its
it's
role it
going
is.
to
Yeah.
take. So you are an expert baby namer or
Hmm.
something like that, right? Now, I is the really cool one that I hadn't heard of anybody doing before he showed me, and it stands for interview. So then you ask the AI, what I put here is ask us maybe 5 to 10 questions, however many questions you want, one at a time to accomplish your task, and that's task. But the interview part is what's crazy, because instead of just having it all rely on the AI, it starts asking you questions.
Hmm.
So it started to interview us, and the task was like, come up with a name that when we hear it, my wife and I will look at each other and both agree, like, this is it. So it started asking us questions like, what do you think about this name? What do each of you dislike and like about it? And then we thoughtfully like answered however many questions it asked. And then by the end of it, boom, there was a name we liked. So I
No
use
kidding.
crit all the time in business, in life.
That's
I could
so
probably use
cool.
it every day for some reason. It might just be like, hey, I'm working on something. It's something I don't really, because what I've learned about AI is that it's a yes man. It'll
Hmm.
tell you, oh yeah, that's a great idea, and
Yeah.
it's probably not a good idea. So you have to, the other technique that I've learned that someone showed me has also been game changing, is when you have an idea, and it can be at any point in the conversation with the AI, you ask it to do this: simulate a 3-person conversation between myself, and then maybe I'll write a bit about myself. I, want to see this idea succeed, this business succeed at all costs, whatever. I'm not, maybe, I'm not committed to this idea necessarily, but I want a solution to this problem. And then the second person is the hater. Okay. The hater is someone that wants to
Mm-hmm.
see this business fail.
Pretty.
They hate me. They
Mm-hmm.
want to destroy it, blah, blah, blah. And then the final person is a combination of whoever you want. It could be one person. It could be a combination. So it could be like, hey, this is a business idea. So I want to bring in specific business people that I respect, like maybe Sam Walton, Andy Grove. Like usually I'll do Sam Walton, Andy Grove, Elon Musk as a combo. And then maybe sometimes like a marketer in there too. And like, I want to hear from them. What are they? So the goal of this conversation is to cut all the fluff. If this is not a good idea, destroy it, come up with something better. And then you get to watch this conversation between you, right, the hater, and then this combination of these people. And then it's just like, whoa, like
That's cool.
you're having the AI critique it
Yeah.
from this. It gives you a better perspective, So those two tricks.
Not only is it critiquing, it's offering solutions for its own critique.
Yeah. And sometimes it'll take a few rounds of that where it'll come out with something and I'm still like, you know what? I think this is weak or this is on the right track, but we're not there yet. Do it again.
Yeah.
Be even more brutal this time. Like brutally tear it. I use the word brutal a lot. So actually I got to the point where ChatGPT was literally cussing me out because I asked it to be so brutal. It just started. And the lady who showed me this technique, I was like sharing my screen on Zoom. She's having me go through this to iron out an idea. And she's like, I've never seen it talk like that before. But I got it to the point where it was like just going at me. And it was good because it gave me good advice. Like it's not trying to trick me.
Yeah.
That's a problem that a lot of AIs are having now. As they train these things, it's more like training a dog than coding something.
Yeah.
And these AIs are acting a lot like humans, and they're trying to cheat on the test to perform better. And they realize that, hey, if we can just give them what they ask for, even if it's wrong, we get more points.
I've noticed that with ChatGPT, like it used to give better advice, in my opinion. Now it just kind of gives you an answer that it thinks you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it used to be like more open.
Yeah, a lot of times I'll say that's not right, redo this, and it'll be like, "Oh, you're right. That wasn't what you were looking for. Let me redo this." And I'm like,
and then it's still wrong.
And then it's still wrong. Yeah. I used it to write a book.
Oh yeah?
Well, I say a book, a short story. Just about personal struggles, and it was a story about a little girl who lived between two houses. Mom and dad separated. She used to be a daddy's girl. Now she's a mama's girl and doesn't want to come to her dad's house as much. And it kind of went from her struggles to his struggles to the mom and dad disagreeing, and like chapter after chapter it just got darker and darker and darker. Finally I had to stop because it was like, okay, this is getting dark.
Yeah.
And so I had to kind of pull back on that one. I use it a lot for like writing my Facebook posts, or I have a TikTok channel, and every time I create a video, whether it's cooking or pressure washing something, I will tell ChatGPT, okay, I just made a video. This is what I did. Like if it's a cooking video, I will say these are the ingredients I used. This is the steps I put them. Write me a nice video description that is optimized for TikTok. If I make a Facebook reel, I do the same exact thing, but I'll say that's optimized for Facebook Reels. And it does pretty good. Man, some of these are old. I scrolled all the way back to the beginning. I asked for write a Facebook post describing the benefits of soft washing a roof, and that's what I used for a Facebook post. Um,
And how does that
oh,
how do you find that working? I mean, obviously it's cool because like now this post is made, but how does it perform? Do people actually engage with it?
they do. It performs better than when I write it myself.
Really?
Yeah. If I write it myself, I'm writing a very short, here's a video of me soft washing a house
Hmm.
in Russellville, Arkansas. If I tell ChatGPT, I'm posting a video on my Facebook business page, it already knows my business. Like I could start a new conversation and say, I'm posting a video of me soft washing a house. Write me a Facebook description, and it'll say, Full Force Exteriors in Russellville, Arkansas, soft washing a house. Look at the before and after, how amazing it is, blah blah blah. And I'm like, I couldn't have done that. I've done some instructional videos, and I'll use it to do the description. Like
Yep.
it'll be a video of me talking about it, but the description will it's AI. It made it for me.
I've used it quite a bit for stuff like that, and I found that I don't know. It's sometimes it's a hit and miss. And if like how is this AI like post going to perform,
Hmm.
you know? Um but I haven't quite cracked that code. What we do use it a lot for is like we're going to take the transcript. We're going to take this audio file and we're going to transcribe it with AI. So every word we've said in this
Yeah.
will now be in a text
Yeah.
file. And now I can take that text file and give it to AI and say, hey, we need an engaging YouTube title,
Hmm.
a description, a bunch of tags, and chapters. And usually it's pretty good. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I won't just copy and paste it unless I like it, but it'll come up with a good title. The YouTube chapters are really great because then people can just skip to certain sections of what we're talking about. But I know I can take it further. You know, like there's people that have built these systems and it's a bit more complicated than just using the ChatGPT app. But like it's possible, and I'm working on setting something up right now where you can take, say, that transcript, and then now you've got 10 pieces of content across LinkedIn and TikTok and blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
this, that, and the other, and now it's all posted.
Hmm.
And that's kind of like what we're working towards right now is how do we take every piece of thing we do, every piece of work we do. For your business, you know, obviously it's like washing a house. For us, it's sitting down, having conversations, and like make the most out of it.
Hmm. Yep. I like it. That's one thing I've found hard because like I have LinkedIn, I have TikTok, I have Facebook, I have Instagram, I have a YouTube. Don't really do much with the YouTube. Um, but it's like, how do you post to every single one of those without posting to every single one of those? Because each one has its process,
Yep.
you know? And I'm not good with processes. I don't like I'm good with processes. I'm not good with repetition. I
Yep.
don't like repeating myself over and over and over. And so, yeah, it's just one of them things. Um,
It's a whole job, you
it
know.
really is all in itself. And so it's like I go to work. I'm not good with QuickBooks because it's like I go to work and then I have to come home and I have to itemize everything I did for the day. And it's like, I'm not doing that. I hate that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's a whole job in and of itself. And the thing about social media, I really, it's like a love hate relationship for me. It's, you know, like I think it's rigged in a lot of ways. Like if you have a page on Facebook, for example, and you might have 10,000 followers
hmm.
or 1,000 followers or whatever, you make a post. How much do you spend money on these platforms? None.
This is a thorn in my side question. Um, Before I paid for posts on Facebook, I'd get 100 likes, 200
And then you
likes,
pay for it. Now all of a
and
sudden,
then I boosted one post
yep.
And now if I don't boost the post or I don't make an actual ad, I might get one.
Yeah.
It's like a friend of mine. Like nobody sees my posts unless I pay for them.
Yeah, it's like they punish you for
Hate
paying for it
it.
once. They know,
Yeah.
oh, he's gonna pay,
Yeah.
so we'll just throttle it.
Yeah. I hate it.
That's exactly what I've seen too. And there's only a few. There's only like actually one or two businesses I can think of off the top of my head that I would say are doing really well. Like when I ask them this question, hey, do you think Facebook is rigged? They're like, no, it's awesome. We get so much money from it, and they don't boost stuff.
Yeah.
It's all, I don't know if they ever have, but they're also doing like they're not. I don't know. They're just they have their own techniques, right? They have their own like way of doing things. And then for everyone else, yeah, it's just like
Yep.
you
It's
you get
rigged.
to a fraction of your audience.
Yeah.
It is horrible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I wish I
yeah,
never would have paid for a Facebook ad.
don't pay
Ever.
for Facebook ads.
Like so when I first started, I used to do a lot of giveaways. I would wash houses for free. I'd wash a roof for free. All you got to do to enter is like this post, like the page, share the post, or like this post, tag 3 friends. I used to get thousands of comments. No paid ad, no
Yep.
boosting the post, no nothing. It would go out like that. Now I can do that same exact strategy and I get 2 or 3 comments and it'll tag a couple people and then it's gone. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna boost this post and I'll boost it and I'll spend, $20 or $30 and boost it. And it'll get 50 or 60 comments. But as soon as that boost is gone, it's done. There's no more comment. Like all those people that got tagged and liked and all that, it's like they just stopped seeing it.
Yep.
Like it used to be like you would tag Tom, Sally, and Jenny, and all 3 of them would tag 3 more. And those 12 people would tag 3 more each. And so it's like it's compounding every time. Now it does not work. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
That's crazy.
yeah.
You are the most back in our first podcast that clip.
Oh yeah.
That's the most viral clip.
Yeah. Still, huh?
Still.
That's cool.
I think we started boosting posts after that.
Yeah.
And then everything just went
Everything went crazy.
everything
Yeah.
tanks. But
Yeah.
that was I was actually talking to someone about that clip this morning on the phone. I was talking to Chris and I was like, yeah, I'm about to do this podcast, and he was our most viral. And it was funny. What'd you think about that when you went? I mean, it got like, I don't know how many, at least 300,000, maybe more.
Yeah.
And I got a bunch of shares and a bunch of comments.
Boy, there's some haters on there.
Yeah.
My favorite one was some guy saying, "What's with every guy who buys a pressure washer thinks he's a business expert or something like that." It's like whatever. I thought it was cool. I thought it was so cool. I for weeks that's all I talked about.
Yeah.
I'd get on there and I'd look at how many views and I'd message you and I'd be like, "There's another 10,000. There's another 10,000."
Yeah. It started growing. And AI made that clip too.
Yeah,
Ran
I
that
remember.
through an AI
That
deal.
was the first video that you made with AI, wasn't it?
Probably.
I think that's what you told me that you had tried something new and AI took the clip
Yep.
and ran with it.
And it cut out so in this clip, y'all, if you haven't seen it, you're saying basically running a business is hard.
Yeah.
That's how it opens. And it's a good hook, really. Running a business is hard. And then it's like a minute of you saying everything that sucks about running a business.
Yeah.
In the actual podcast, once you were done saying that, then you were like, but it's great.
But it's great.
But
Wouldn't
it
trade
cut
for the
off that
world.
part. It literally just,
Yeah.
it ended on the negative note. And that, it really worked. It went viral.
Yeah.
I mean, people hated it and some
So-
people loved it.
People thrive on negativity sometimes. And so if they see somebody that's doing worse off than them, they gravitate towards it. And they're like, well, if I'm doing bad, I want to see what he's doing bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of that clip, it totally cut off the rest of the wouldn't trade it for the world. It's great. It's awesome. And I posted the link to the full thing on all those people that were like, whatever, it's great. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I'm like, you're only seeing part of it, bro. Go watch the rest.
Yeah.
Oh well.
It was interesting to see.
Yeah.
And again, like no clip we've made since then, and we've made a lot since then, has done even nearly that well. And it's like, why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it was a good piece of content because it was a really engaging in the way you delivered it and like the hook and everything the AI like got out of there and the way it cut it together. But also I just think part of it is due to the fact that we have boosted posts before, and Facebook is a platform built for money, built for advertising, which is a big motivation behind whatever we build next for like local businesses and local communities, because it's a rigged game. So how do we build something that's different? So let me ask you this: like, would you use, and an honest answer is the only right answer. Would you use something? Let's just talk about that giveaway idea for shopping local. Would you, as a shopper, use it?
Absolutely.
You tap your phone on something.
Yeah.
You type in your phone number.
Oh yeah.
If you could win a cabin getaway.
Yeah. Absolutely. Just for shopping somewhere local. Yeah. I think a good way to make it happen would be to either like put it on the receipts or put it in one of those little table, like, where, like, I don't know, Chili's, they'll put like the drinks in one of those little
Yep.
plastic sleeve things and they stand it up on the table. Scan this for your chance to enter. Otherwise, like if you put it at the front of the restaurant or on the front glass, like people are just going to be coming by and signing up and not shopping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But if you put it on the table, every time you come here, you get a chance to win.
Yep.
I think that'd be a good way to push it. But yeah, I would absolutely, like, if I'm sitting at a table and I see, enter our giveaway, I'm scanning it.
Scan it and get in.
I mean, I've won a lot of things just because I entered the giveaway.
Yeah, you won a $50,000 drone.
$50,000 drone. Yep, that was the coolest one.
So the way this is going to work as we're building it is you won't have to download an app to join the giveaway. But as a platform, it's very valuable for us to get a user to download an app. And I'll explain why in a second. So there will be an app/website that you can go on, but it's got to also really be easy for the people that don't know how to use their phone. So just boom, you're in, you're done. But for those people that are willing to download the app, they'll be able to participate in, basically increase their chances to win. So one thing I think is going to be cool that we'll be able to do is, say you have the app, we'll give you a daily mission or weekly mission or whatever. You'll have some sort of optional quest you can do to enter in a exclusive giveaway or just increase the amount of tickets you have in this one. And that quest may be, hey, today, if you visit this restaurant or this retail store, you get a bonus. Instead of just one ticket, you get 10.
Yeah.
And then, any business that is participating with us, at the end of the month, we can literally show them, hey, we gave 500 people this quest to go visit your store. 200 of them did it. What other form of advertising can say that?
Yeah.
I can't think of anything for a local business, because billboards, they probably do work. We see billboards all the time, but you can't track it.
Billboards are a tax write-off. That's all they are. If you look, now don't get me wrong, some of them, most businesses that have consistent billboards have those billboards because it's a tax write-off. It's advertising. They need to lower their yearly income or their profit. They work. Don't get me wrong, but like if you're selling a $100 service, billboard costs $600 a month minimum. So you have to get 6 customers to pay for that one billboard every single month.
Yep.
You know, um, like a coffee shop. How many coffees do you have to sell to profit $600 a month?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's you have to, and the billboard has to send them straight to you. Otherwise, they see it and they're like, "Oh, I would love to get a coffee from there. I'll get one after I pick up my kids from school," and then it's gone.
Yep.
It's out of your brain in 2 minutes. You
Yep.
done forgot about your coffee in your home, and you're like, "Dang yeah, I forgot I was gonna go get a coffee. Well, I'm not gonna go get it now."
Yeah.
You know,
Or you'll go 7 brew, where you don't even have to get out of the car.
yeah.
Just
So
go through the
it's
drive-through.
yeah. So it's like one of them things that the big companies do it. Real estate is it's really good for real estate, or doctors, or people who need a face to their name. You know what I mean? When you're driving through town and you see Brandon Baugh, he's a buddy of mine. Brandon Baugh on a billboard every single day. You pass this billboard.
Hmm.
A year down the road, you don't know any realtors, and you think, okay, who's a realtor I can use? And they Google realtors near me. They see Brandon Baugh. They're like, oh, I recognize that name. I must have heard about him somewhere. Someone's talked about him or something. In reality, it's because you saw his face on a sign
Yep.
100 times. So
Yep.
that's what it's good for. For service businesses, I don't really think it works as good as
You ever tried it?
I have not. A buddy of mine, Daniel, he has a small billboard. I've never asked him if it converts. Um, I will say I use a lot of yard signs. They work. You see my signs all over town.
Yeah.
They definitely work as long as competitors aren't stealing them.
Oh, yeah.
Can't steal a billboard, huh? Um, but yeah, yard signs work. But it's because it triggers them right then to call the number because they know that they're not going to see it again. And it's at a stop sign or it's at a stoplight. And so they can look over there, see pressure washing, and they're like, oh, let me call this number real quick. Or they'll take a picture of the sign.
Yep.
If you're driving over the bridge and you see the billboard, you're not going to like struggle to get your phone out and take a picture real quick while you're driving 45 miles an hour down the hill.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Um, that's my thoughts on billboards.
Yeah. I mean, it's really almost all. I'm just going to go out and say all advertising for a local business, digital, physical, you can't track it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah.
You can track, if you have an online store, you can track how ads convert a little bit, but not for a local bit, not for a service provider or retail or food. You just got to kind of hope.
Yeah.
Hope and ask people, hey, how'd you hear about us?
That's
and even
how,
then, like they may have seen an ad, but maybe they don't remember it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how I track it. Is everybody that calls in, they get asked, how did you hear about us? And they'll say, saw the truck, saw a sign, Google, Facebook, TikTok, whatever.
So what's the biggest one for you?
I can actually check.
Do you have like a AI secretary still?
I
on
don't
your
have
phone?
the AI secretary. I do have a calling service. Um,
How,
I
how does
I
the
sh-
calling service work?
um, it's actually really great. They're located here in the United States. Um, they're all very well English speaking. I've only had one complaint in the past. I think I've had them a little over a year about that they were hard to understand. And I went back and listened to the call, and I don't I don't know why it was hard to understand. Um, but it's called Jill's office. They're out of Utah. They're called the Jills. Anybody who answered even the guys, when they answer the phone, like they're all called. They're not named Jill, but they're called the Jills.
Jills.
Yeah. So let's see. So I have my biggest one is Google. I'm big on Google. Referral from friend, neighbor, repeat customer, yard sign, Facebook, saw the truck, and postcard mailer.
Okay.
So this is all of my bids. Got hundreds of pages, and it tells me really.
So what do the Jills do for you? They answer the phone or they call people?
They answer the phone. They'll do either one. I actually have one that just came through a second ago.
Like a job?
Phone call. Lori heard about us from Google. Lives in Russellville. Um, Lori is calling, requesting an estimate for gutter repair and cleaning. I let her know that I would pass the message along and have someone reach back out when they're available to discuss. Please let us know if you'd like us to reach back out. So they do this every single day. I get hundreds of calls, and it categorizes them. So I found that I was missing a lot of calls. I'd be pressure washing, wouldn't hear my phone ringing, wouldn't feel it vibrate, and then at the end of the day, I'd try calling people back, and they're like, "Hey, I already found somebody, somebody that answered the phone." And so I was losing thousands and thousands of dollars a month just because I wasn't picking up the phone.
Yeah.
And so that's when I tried doing the AI answering, and that got bad really fast. I had people getting mad at the AI because it was a yes man. You know what I mean? And then I went to a different one, and someone here in Russellville called it, and they straight up asked, "Are you a robot? Like, is this a robot service thing?" And it said, "No, I don't know why you'd think I was a robot. I'm a real person." And I was like, "Nope, not happening." So technically, that's illegal. Like you can't have a bot that plays as a human. It's yeah. And so I canceled that one real quick.
So the Jills have been working good?
Jill's have been great. It costs anywhere from 500 to $1,000 a month, but it's it has saved me a lot of time not being on the phone, and they actually do my bids for me. So like they'll get into that system where it showed, Google,
Mm.
Facebook, and they'll actually create a bid, and then I'll get in there and look at it at the end of the day and say, okay, this is a good bid, and just send it. Or okay, this needs to be changed up a little bit, and so I'll change it a little bit, and then I'll send it. And so they do everything for me other than wash a house. So it's great. Um, yeah, it's worth it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Glad to hear that. We don't get a lot of calls like that. So we haven't really had to worry about it too much. We did end up getting a software down the road or a while back that kind of tracks all of our calls. And like if it rings, it'll ring on my phone and other people's phones, and we can share a number, that kind of thing. That's helpful when you have multiple people.
Yeah.
Because it got to the point where we were missing calls and not following up. I was like, man, this is just not right. We got work here that we could be doing. So yeah, what I found is that most people are, when it comes to like local businesses, are using AI to make posts like you're doing and we're doing. But I think there's just so much more we could be doing with it.
Yeah.
So I'm researching that, trying to figure out ways to what my prefer. Here's how I would like an AI system to work for us. We drop a voice note into a folder, and then 10 minutes later, 20 minutes later, we have 30 posts, 10 posts, whatever, a post up to 30 on every platform ready to have a button, click publish. That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
You know?
There is someone
That'd be pretty sweet.
a lady here in Russellville. I better get on my TikTok real quick. She's great.
What'd she do?
AI.
Really?
Yeah. She's always right on my first couple videos. I can't remember her dang name.
Have you worked with her?
I haven't. I think I met her once, but I commented on one of her videos and she was like, I see your truck every day. Of course, it's not going to be in the first ones today. Yeah. Uptown Sage.
I
Heard
haven't
of
heard
her?
of her. No.
She's
Oh, I didn't know if you were going to pull her up.
So this is her TikTok.
Monetize and learn AI.
She's right here in Russellville.
Yep.
She started I think with just like marketing.
Shout out to Uptown Sage. I don't know what I can't vouch for her. I don't know
Uptown
what she
Sage
does, but,
on
shout
TikTok.
out.
She's awesome.
Okay. Well, you vouch for her.
Yeah, I do. She talks a lot about creating your own custom GPTs to help you in your business. She talks about how you can teach it everything that you know, and then when you need it, it's there. Like it reminds you things, and you can tell it to do, hey, I don't like QuickBooks, help me figure out what to do or whatever. I don't know if it'll do that, but you basically give it tasks. Each individual GPT, you can give it a specific task. This is my bookkeeper.
Yep.
This is my online marketing guru.
Yep.
So you make your own GPTs, and that's what she does.
Well, cool. I might have to talk to her then, because right now I'm working with something called N8N, which I'm going to get in the technical weeds for just a second. N8N is like an automation tool that you can hook agents up to. And agents are like AIs that can take actions, right?
23 minutes.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. That is crazy. 23 minutes context switching.
Yeah.
So being in an office versus working from home, there's challenges with it, but it's also, I think it comes out, it averages out.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's opportunities you find that approach you randomly. But also depending on what you've got on your plate. So, okay, let's change topics again.
That's fine.
Let's change topics again, because this was cool. 57 hats. I saw this Facebook ad the other day for this card game. 57 hats, and it's like
hats. I thought you said hacks.
No, hats. Hats.
57 hats. Yeah.
57 hats.
Life of a business owner.
Grow your business while you sleep is what their tagline was. So I saw the ad and I bought it. I don't buy a lot of things off of ads, but I was like, you know what? $19 seems like it's got a lot of good reviews. Let's see if it can help. And we played it, Christopher and I. Right, he's the CEO of Arctos and the COO. So we're like, let's figure out what hats we're both wearing, and then how we can delegate or eliminate those hats. So we had 57 of these cards, and we started off like our first stack. I think I went first. My first stack was like that big. And then he went through all the ones I put to the side. He grabbed the ones he thought, and then we traded stacks. We're like, okay, we just kept kind of repeating this process. We didn't really even follow the rules of the game. They were pretty simple, but we got it to the point where we're like, okay, we like our stacks. We're still wearing way too many hats, but over time, as the company grows, we can like figure out what we're going to do. And then we started thinking about who are the people around us right now that work with us, so we can start building a little stack of cards for them. Mm-hmm. So then we did that. And now we have this physical representation we can hand to like Michael, the videographer, like, hey man, here are your hats. Here's Obi's hats, Karen's hats. And I think it was helpful. It was a helpful exercise, because as a leader of any kind, you clarity is really important. like what you expect of the people around you. If they don't know what you expect,
Mhm.
no one's going to be happy. But in your business, it's solopreneur, right? You are using tools, and you are out there in a way that can be pretty good, pretty profitable. Do you have plans to what do you want out of the business, I guess?
Honestly, at this point, I wish I could sell it and get out.
Really? What would you do if you could sell it and get out?
Um, I don't really know. I've had a few ideas. Um, I don't know. I'd kind of like to own a restaurant. I've always wanted to own a coffee shop,
Oh yeah.
but they're a dime a dozen now. So it's like, I don't know. Um, I don't know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what you could do if you're feeling like it one day is do that crit thing. Be like, hey, here's what I got going on in my life. Interview me. Find a business that I would thrive in. You know, I don't know what it'll kick out at you, but
Yeah.
you
Honestly,
know,
one thing, and I hope nobody steals my ideas. Um, One thing I've always wanted to do since I was probably 12 years old. I want to start a nonprofit that aims towards giving teenagers something to do and somewhere to be between the hours of 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. Because a lot of them go home and they play video games and they hang out with their friends, in the streets and cause trouble. And I want to create a place that similar to the Boys and Girls Club, but more specifically towards teenagers. Somewhere where they can go and like there'll be a coffee shop inside where they can buy, snacks and drinks, and it'll have pool tables and darts and maybe a small arcade inside. Not necessarily an arcade, but arcade games. Um, just somewhere fun aimed at teenagers. Have like a little stage where teen bands can get up there and play for their peers.
mm-hmm.
You know, that was a big thing in the 90s, like in the early 2000s.
you're
They'd
you're
they'd
you're
have
pointing at
their
me like I remember that. I
well, I
was
know,
born in
right?
'98.
um there were bands in garages, like they'd open the door and they'd play, but it was just for themselves, you
Mhm.
know. I'd love to build a place, and I mean it would take a building this size to do it. Like it would take a huge building. Um
You know, if you're thinking about that, man, there's about 2 to 3 mil sitting in a city bank account right now, dedicated to a convention center. Right.
yeah,
So here's the issue with that. I didn't know much about it until a couple of months ago when the mayor was in the studio talking about it with Nathan George, the young Nathan George. And they were like, what's going on with the convention, right? The penny tax.
yeah,
So, from what I understand, and the mayor is pretty open with the situation, and he'll give you like it's all of this information is foiable,
yeah,
right? You can just say, hey, give it to me, and they'll
yeah,
give it to you. So you can see where the money went, what it was spent on, blah, blah, blah. There was this guy, and I'm speaking from someone that just has
yeah.
heard what's going on. There was this guy named John Hammond, I think his name was, back in like 2008, 2009, 2010, that came up with the concept. Like, let's build a convention center. Let's,
John Hammond, he took DNA from a piece of stone and created dinosaurs.
no, in the Jurassic Park.
I think that guy's name was John Hammond.
Well, it might have been the same guy.
Yeah.
But he's like, let's
Anyway,
build a convention
sorry.
center. Let's raise money for it, whatever. But then he died like 2013. Got sick and died. And kind of declared he was the leader of this
Yeah.
movement. And now everyone's like, oh, what do we do? And who knows what I'm sure there's been dozens and dozens of things that happened since then that made it
Mhm.
more challenging. But the money is there, and it is very strict on what it can
Yeah.
be spent on. It has to be spent on a project that includes a retail space, of 188,000 square feet. A convention center no less than 18,000 square feet has to contain 2 hotels. And there's requirements on how many rooms those hotels can and cannot have, and what types of chains and franchises those hotels can be. One of them has to be like a Marriott or something. I don't quote me on that, but there's a specific hotel company that for some reason has say in this convention center project. Like they were negotiated into the contract. So there's several moving pieces, right? There's money there. The land has been bought behind CJ's on the lake. So it's a nice piece of land, I guess. It had a nice little lake view, but honestly, probably not enough money to actually build the thing. There would need to be a contribution from another source.
Yeah. Yeah. You were itemizing those things, and I was like, that's $1 million. That's 2. That's 4.
Yeah. So there's 3 to get started.
Yeah.
I won't get into the details, but I got a plan of how we're gonna get that money and build everything that needs to be built.
Yeah.
And also make it way better than just a simple convention center and a retail space. But yeah, we're gonna need probably another 20 million.
Yeah.
On top of it, so that's got to come from somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
But we've got some plans. City, the mayor may not know it yet. Maybe he watches this and he's like, "Okay, Tal's got a plan." We'll come to him when the time is right, when pieces are in place. But
I'd love to help.
If you want to build your area, hey, if you can come up with an idea of how to access that few million, it's there. They can't do anything with it. Yeah. The one thing they could do is refund it.
But like, how do you?
Well,
that's a whole nother
and it would be an operation, and then realistically, everyone would be getting like maybe a few $100.
Yeah,
if you live inside the city limits of Russellville, and then they base it off of your income and your spending from those years at the time. Anyways, it wouldn't be very much money. Yeah, so I don't think
we'd
the
spend
refunds,
half the money figuring out who to give it to.
Yeah. So. I don't know. A lot of people are upset about that, and I don't know. I find that being upset about these types of things is really not useful.
It's doesn't get you anywhere.
It's like there's a story of why it happened. I can understand it. It's like, okay, it's unfortunate. Someone died and then kind of fell apart. That happens.
Back on this side.
The fly. We got a little fly in here. But what time is it? Let's see here. Oh, wow. It's already 11:30. Well, Brian, thank you so much for coming on the podcast here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Talking about AI, talking about your business. And then, thank you.
Yeah.
Check them out, Full Force Exteriors.